The AV industry in the past few years has experienced profound change, and I'm joined today by Wahab from Mindstec to talk about the incredible change over the years in the market in the regions around the globe. Wahab, it's great to be joined with you today. Let's be real, 2025 has been a year of profound change, but not all of that change is loud, not all that change is obvious. Some companies, of course, do grow slowly or quietly as well. As the owner of Mindstech, over the years, you've faced plenty of challenge and opportunity in AV distribution. You've built Mindstech up throughout those years. How do you see the market right now? What is happening today?
Thank you, Reece, for having me here. Uh, yes, you rightly pointed out the market has changed. The AV industry has been evolving quite rapidly across the world, and where it's sometimes difficult to keep up with all the evolvement that's happening. But we are trying to be more regional focused, trying to understand uh, how the clients perceive or acceptance of the new technologies coming in, and we're trying to do as much as possible to meet the requirements of the market. And every region is different. The requirements are different.
Absolutely. And you founded Mindstech and you remain very close to the business throughout those years. And the more things change, the more they stay the same in some cases. So, what was the original vision for Mindstech and how have those values stayed consistent as the company has evolved over the years?
See, Mindstec was formed in 2006. Me and a single person, an engineer who joined in to form this company. I came from the AV integration background, so I understood the complexity of how the technology was used, what are the issues that we're having. And it was a very debatable question in terms of whether I should do integration or continue with integration or look at doing distribution. And settle down with the idea that I would like to support as much as possible the integration partners with the best of the technologies that were available. I had the past experience and I started talking to manufacturers to see how I would be able to distribute the products. The core ethics of forming Mindstec was first and foremost, uh, we didn't want to be a box mover. So the vision of the company was more of trying to get technologies of various manufacturers and create a solution for the end users, right? Because me coming in from the integration background understood of what clients were looking for, right? And the standard distributor that were available in the market at that time was pure box movers, and to go into that space would be not beneficial for me because we were not looking at it. We were looking at more solution selling. So we started putting in products from various manufacturers across the world that would not compete with each other but still form a full solution that what I expect the end users to have, right? So we were quite in all the markets that we entered, even in Middle East when we entered, we did more on interactivity because at that time in 2006, interactivity was just about picking up. So we worked with a lot of education institutions. We emphasized the importance of interactivity. And as you know, if you look at the old history, people were very afraid of touching products because they did not feel happy about it, or at least they were afraid of using technology. So with the interactivity coming in, and again, our the way we used to do business, the way we used to use products changed, and especially, phones started coming in where people started using the phone as a touch device, and that is how we went in with interactivity, and we started telling users saying, please get up to the screen. Now you can touch it, you can write on it, it's not going to go faulty, don't worry about it. But the idea of collaboration, right? What all you can do with interactivity is what we focused on. So that was our start of the journey where we started focusing on technologies that were the future, but people were afraid to use or reluctant to use. And that is how that whole scenario came in.
That whole holistic approach that you brought from that systems integration background is absolutely vital because, as you say, no one wants to be a box mover, right? No one wants to be known as that in the market. Today, distribution can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. How would you describe Mindstec business today? In a nutshell, what is the full package?
See, the full package has been not only just the sourcing part, because distribution as a word, people think that we are just procurement agents, right? Or middlemen who are trying to get the product, reach them, sort out the logistical issues and stuff like that. What Mindstec was doing was Mindstec was taking or using our technical expertise for people to understand it's just not the product that you buy, but how are you going to use it? How are you going to support it, as you go along? So the technical expertise to for people to understand what goes behind in supporting a technology product is what we emphasized on, right? And we grew in where we work with partners. We that The reason I got out technical expertise was many of our partners whom we were trying to force or move into AV were coming from IT background. Now, they did not understand the AV industry as such, right? So for us to help them understand the technology, the where the clients would benefit using that particular technology. So there was a lot of schooling that we had to do for IT distributors or IT partners to get in. They had the client base, but they were only doing their IT part and coming out of it, right? So the technical expertise, not only just to sell the product, but also to support the product is where we emphasized on. So we were just not procurement agents in the middle, but we were more of a complete technology provider, not only from hardware perspective, but also from support perspective.
That technical expertise and education as well is some real core value that really works for your partners, right?
Yes, it did. And I think that was the core of how Mindstec was formed. And the other factor was we are a pure distribution company. We never competed with our partners. We don't bypass them. Whatever happens, we work with them. We work with consultants to get our technology specified or worked on with end users. But the sale always has to be through our partners.
Let's remember as well, let's wind the clock back a bit. Mindstec originally found its start in the Middle East. How did that beginning in the region shape the way that you've built your business across Europe, Middle East, and Africa? Can you talk me through that expansion and the approach that you had to it as a business, which I imagine was quite unique?
Yeah, it was a bit unique, but like I said before, my background was AV integration. So the previous company that I used to work for, I had done a lot of projects of installation across Africa, across Middle East when I was with them. So when I started getting into the distribution business, it helped me to understand first what the users were looking at. So finalizing on the product lineup or the product that we wanted to distribute, that was easy for me. Second thing was again region specific. We knew how the Middle East operated. We knew how the users were using technology. We knew how users wanted to use technology. So that helped us put our strategy in place, saying how do we uh, have end user benefit from the technology that we were trying to get in. So that was our first step. And second step, like we said, we started from Dubai and then we looked at India as the second market to expand. And again, I had done a lot of projects, integration projects in India in the past. So that helped me to understand the market and go into the market. And we used to work with a lot of partners. So we knew the partners well, we knew the owners quite well. And that is how we started the relationships.
Absolutely. So we've seen a significant amount of change and evolution as you've moved from market to market without losing sight of those core values of what end users and your partners are actually looking for. And I think that's so important. What would you say as we push into 2026? We're looking at a new year, we're looking at new opportunities and potentially new challenges in the market. What is Mindstec focused on now, and what are you, as the owner, personally focused on in the next 12 to 18 months?
See, the way AV industry is evolving, the user perspective of how they want to use the technology is changing. We are also trying to put a strategy in place. We are talking to a lot of manufacturers. Our product lineup is changing rapidly. We are now looking at more AI-driven technologies coming in the future. We are trying to talk to manufacturers to see how we can tie up with them. We are looking at new models of business, especially for 26, where we are looking at uh, SaaS in AV, which is what we feel by 27, 28, the market is going to tend towards that. And as the owner of Mindstec, I have always been very involved in the business, but not from day-to-day perspective. The teams are in place in all the countries, but from strategic thinking perspective, my role as an owner of the company is what will the company be doing 2 years down the line, right? So that is what I get on the table is I start looking at what is happening around the world, how it is going to change, the business models are going to change. And for me, I think there will be a lot of changes in the distribution model between 27, 28. The way I look at what we have been doing in the past and what we are currently doing might drastically change by 27, 28. So I am trying to put a strategy in place as an organization of where we will be heading.
Absolutely. And you've always kept that key focus on where the market is, how it's evolving, and that's been consistent from the early days in Dubai to your global presence. Wahab, it's been amazing to get your perspective today. Thank you so much for joining me. It's wonderful to get insight into Mindtech's global growth and getting an inclination of where you'll be heading next. Thank you so much for your time.